Misha here, along with Fox, and as promised, we're out trying the Century Romanian Nova Modul CGR 7.62x39 semi-automatic imported rifle. Did a kind of a first tabletop look. A couple of things. Yeah, the top rail is polymer. And yes, this front sight appears to be adjustable with a screwdriver, very thin one of some type. Don't think of anything else that got brought up. Some people said the pistol grip looked cheap. It's a US grip, so it's neither here nor there. This is just what Century's been putting on their guns. Safety is reasonably stiff. And throws fine. Trigger's a little heavy, but not gritty. Typical Century trigger. So with that, we've got some mags loaded up. We're gonna put some rounds through it and see how it does. Alright, we're gonna try it with the KUSA mag because it happened to be the hand. It was a tight fit, but that's Century for you. And we had a little bit of trouble with the first round going in. But let's see. Hi, Misha here, back at my place, getting the CGR video ready to go, and wanted to fill in a few blanks. The CGR itself is with Fox for further testing, so I'll use my also Romanian, also from Cugir, SAR1 as a stand-in. The KUSA mags, all four of them, fit very tight in the CGR, but eventually we were able to get them to go. I wanted to show you in the SAR1. Pulled one out and it locked in just fine. Tight because it's polymer, but no problems, no fighting with it. And that is including having this dong in the front to make it a little harder. This is because it does not have a mag well that started off as single stack and had to be opened up like the CGR, or even for that matter current Wassers. It always had a mil-spec mag well. Now Fox's first go with the CGR. First thoughts?
Man, it was kind of moving me all over the place. A lot of first initial blowback. It did seem like a little, you know what, it could have just been this. The sling swivel was, but I heard something jankying around. But yeah, actually I kind of like that trigger. There's a little bit of grit in it, but I think once you got used to it, it has kind of a spring to it.
Yeah, it is definitely got a strong spring behind it.
Yeah.
CGR again. The issue we were having during the early shooting with the CGR, we would put in a mag. Remember, we're kind of having to cram these in. And when we would go to charge it, it would charge, but then freeze about here. I don't think much of the bullet was exposed, but it was not quite going into battery. But it did pick up a round, so just kind of pulling the mag out and letting it rock and then reinserting was enough to let it go forward. Interestingly, after that it cycled just fine, which tells me the mag was just sitting not quite properly inside there.
We are going to try out this janky Bakelite. This particular mag is jammed up a few guns, so we're going to see how it runs. And my piece of tape here to keep that swing swivel from bouncing around. Yeah, did the same thing.
Yeah, it's been doing that. It's probably a break-in thing, but
there we go. Going hot.
Well,
ran beautifully.
Fox is going to try a Magpul P-Mag.
Clear.
After trying a few different mags, I thought it would be educating to throw some bottom of the bucket, literally random ammo in the CGR. After all, the wasser would eat it. Some of it was a little corroded, some of it was mixed types. You know, it was just a Ziploc bag I collected of random ammo here and there. Let's see how the CGR does. Here we go. Yay! To be fair, that was the first time today. Let's try it again.
Same thing.
So no, it did not like it. Now, a gun that we were also at least wanting to put a couple of mags through that day was the Pioneer AKM, Pioneer Sporter. This isn't it. That it's also still at Fox's for further testing. This is my WBP, but they're still both from Poland, although quite different guns. But let's put that junk ammo, same mag, in the Pioneer and see how it does. Pioneer again!
Pioneer!
Well, it ate it. One thing I'm noticing, it does seem a little thumpier. So, we'll see if it's just me. Let's hand the Pioneer over to Fox and then get his impressions. Now Fox with the Pioneer.
Pioneer!
So back to back with the Romanian CGR, what do you think?
Honestly, I kind of like this Pioneer a little better than the Romy. Oh, I shouldn't. Sorry about that. Yeah, I don't know. It just doesn't... Seems a little more solid, believe it or not. Not as janky.
What do you think about felt recoil?
This does seem to have a little bit more recoil. The Pioneer does seem to pack a little bit more punch.
I concur. I noticed it too. And that's not to say the CGR is light. It's pretty recoily, but that one just seemed to be more even.
Yeah, it was weird because when I picked up the CGR, I thought, man, this has a lot of recoil. This one has more.
Yeah.
But
Well, there you have it. Probably the Pioneer has a little bit more gassing going on or lighter spring, which let it overcome the uneven ammo. Hard to say, but yeah, you got the evidence there. Make of it as you will. By the way, the KUSA polymer mag fit inside the WBP fine. Again, tight, but we didn't have to cram it. So the mag issue for the polymer mag seems to be more related to the CGR than the mags themselves. And again, we tried it with some other polymer types, and they were a tight fit as well. We've tried the CGR out with polymer synthetic plastic mags and several types of ammo, including the bucket ammo, but realized really haven't tried it with steel surplus style mags. Here's a Russian one, but we have a few others to test as well. So let's put 3 or 4 different steel mags through it. I kind of pre-selected ones that wanted to lock in, and I don't know if it's break-in or different mags or ammo, but the initial kind of issue of it not completely going to battery, kind of hitching there, really has disappeared as we get into the day further. And the mags, at least the metal ones, are fitting pretty good. There were a few that didn't want to go in. The modern Zastavas were a little fat, and some of the modern Polish didn't want to go. And strangely, the kind of knockoff palm mag was a very tight fit. Either way, the day is coming to an end, so let's run it with a few different mags. Then we'll crack open the CGR, see how the wear patterns look, and Fox and I will give you our thoughts and conclusions. Alright, CGR again. Well, it held open. I don't know if it's supposed to, but it did. Now with a Russian slab side. By the way, that last mag was a Serbian or Yugo hold open mag, so that was correct. That Fox one more time with the CGR.
Held open. Not sure it was supposed to hold. Yeah.
I think so, almost. And one more now with a Russian mag. And here we are with the CGR. Can't really remove the cover because it's hinged, but looking inside, nothing jumping out at us. Looking in the front.
Looks like not even really any normal wear. Nothing to write home about.
Nope. I did notice the stock got slightly wiggly, but that's just Century's installation monkeys. It's not bad. Just a little bit of wiggle. Let's look at the carrier over here, but I already tell you there's nothing special.
Nope.
The tail is not peened.
Not at all.
And the...
Not a ding on it, really.
Yep. Yeah, the lugs are fine. I'm not noticing anything crazy. Got a nice little wiggle. That's actually a pretty clean piston head, not that it matters.
Yep.
Not a whole lot of credits here to it. I mean, the first time today I've been impressed by this thing.
I was sitting here filming thinking the same thing.
Well, let's get you in front of the camera and we'll do some final thoughts. Alright guys, here we are. First up, the barrel rivet. It's fine. I mean, I'm not hitting it with the hammer, but it's not falling out. The top cover is wiggly, but mounted here. And yeah, safety. Fine. The throw is, it's not hanging up anywhere, but it feels exactly what it is. Kind of the same goes for the trigger. The wood is there. This was Foxy. That slings will. See, you get grumpy when I put slings on, and then when I don't.
That was a pretty good fix. I didn't have to worry about a sling in the way. That was way overtied. Nor jingle jangles.
Mr. Bojangles.
That would be what I'd call that gun.
Normal here. Front side, I mean, it's there. Yeah, sorry guys, there's just not a whole lot to say about it. It had that weird thing early on with several mags where it didn't want to quite go into battery, but when you pull the mag out, it would go forward. But then it would feed fine from the mags.
It just took a little.
I think it was just breaking. I think
yeah.
Just how they cut out, how Century cut out this mag well, because towards the end there, it worked fine with several metal mag. It does seem like it prefers metal mags over plastic.
Yes.
That might change as time goes on, and we had no trouble with those KUSA mags and other guns like the Baril and the KUSA itself. So it worked. It worked. It wasn't the harshest recoiling gun we had today.
Surprisingly, it wasn't, because in the beginning I thought it was for sure the most harshest recoiling gun we would have today.
It's gonna rock you around. There's you can really feel it. And we shot a few other different 7.62 39 guns, same ammo today, so we had comparison. It was thumping you.
It was definitely thumping. Thump.
It didn't like that really crappy bottom of the box ammo I found.
No, it did not like rusty ammo.
No, but the Pioneer did.
We had some trunk ammo.
Yep, it was definitely that. It was stuff that had broken out of a box and at the bottom of the big box, and I'm sure that box had got wet at some point. But that's an AK. It should eat that ammo.
This wood's like a jaundice color.
That's the Century.
No, I know.
That is Century wood.
The wood's brutal. Man, I don't, you got a steel dust cover. I think this is steel, it's not plastic. And then you put a plastic, and this isn't just any plastic. This is like the cheapest plastic rail mount, optic mount on top of this dust cover. I mean, it's got a Coke bottle shine to it.
Yeah, that I've never been a big fan of those top rail mounts. They're okay on guns like 9 mils when you're just 9 mil.
For
But
sure.
when you've got a gun that's gonna be rocking and rolling, moving around, the side mounts are for a reason. Or if you've got to have an over the top mount, the barrel style is the way to go.
Definitely.
Because it's locked on.
You don't get that option here.
Unfortunately, no real exciting failures or explosions. It did work.
It did work. Was it comfortable? Absolutely not. And I don't know if that was because while I was shooting it, I honestly at one point I thought something was going to blow up and hit me in the face. And I'm not dogging it. I mean, it was reliable, very reliable. But man, that trigger is kind of scary. I feel like I'm kind of tearing something up when I charge that back. That trigger is rough.
No, that should be the Century trigger, unless I'm wrong. I don't know, but
I don't either.
I guess at the end of the day, the gun actually performed better than I expected.
Yeah, with no wearing in the inside.
Yeah, that
blows
actually,
my mind.
Yeah, the fact that it actually didn't ding itself up and under just
pinging.
natural operation. Yeah.
And we weren't easy on it.
No.
We never let it really cool off. And there's nothing loose. I mean, the stock, sure, but I mean, nothing came loose from just the way it feels and the way it shot.
It looks remarkably the same as it
Yes.
did before we shot it.
Yeah.
And not that it was ever the best looking, but it never really got worse.
No.
Like it didn't get super loose or anything. It worked fine. The worst thing to say is it was mag picky, especially in the beginning.
It was very mag picky, which started to get kind of annoying because we went through 5 or 6, 7 different mags. And it was raining on us, but it would not be a good range day with an AK if there was not rain.
Yeah, well, it's a good test of it. I mean, and if any moisture stayed on, it'll see how this blued finishes. And I've noticed in the first video I did, people pointed out, oh, they only want a Parkerized or phosphated Romanian gun. I get that, but to be fair, even the original Cugir Arsenal used salt bluing, so
Right.
it's fine. It is so close to the Pioneer gun.
I think I like the Pioneer more.
Pioneer is definitely a classic AKM look.
Mm-hmm. Well, and it wasn't as punchy.
Really, the Pioneer punched more.
Was it?
Yeah.
It's just been a really long day.
It has.
You're
We
right.
shot a lot.
You're right.
Yeah.
It was in the beginning. I thought nothing would punch more than this.
That
and the
Pioneer
was
actually
less.
was definitely the most.
It was a
recoil.
lot more actually. Sorry guys.
And I will say,
I've got a headlamp on. That's how tired I am.
I will say that things like on the Pioneer, the safety and the mag catch kind of feel a little thinner. This does feel a little bit, I don't know. But then what really helps the Pioneer is having a side mount. Side rail.
Very much.
And that optic option is just don't do anything at all. Frankly, don't do that.
Yeah, you may have something on here good at 20 yards, but man, there's just no way you can rely on that.
No.
I'd be willing you could crack this if you tighten it off.
And the thing is, too, you've got a proprietary top cover with that hinge.
Yes.
Now, can it be replaced with the standard one? I don't know. Probably will never bother to figure it out.
No.
On the one other hand, I will say, Nova Modul is a commercial company. No one's making any bones about that. Unlike certain other companies in neighboring country, they're not pretending to be the Cugir Arsenal. And this is essentially their first go at a centerfire locked breech rotating bolt type gun, 760x39. Mm-hmm. For a first attempt, it could have been much worse.
Yes.
But we only put a few hundred rounds through it today, mostly because in the battle between us and it kind of won by beating us up.
It is punchy.
I really have to wonder how it's going to be at a couple of thousand rounds.
We can find out.
We will. And to be fair, the lack of wear surprised us.
Very much.
So it might be one of those guns that kind of continues to surprise because we underestimate it. I don't know.
No doubt. That's usually how it goes.
Yeah.
I mean,
but things like the rivet for a barrel pin, it's just odd.
It is odd.
And I never really found a bayonet that lug wanted to fit. I didn't try to like smack it on, not doing that, but none of my bayonets, I grabbed like 4 or 5, wanted to just go on. It just seemed like it was kind of a weird spec lug. It is very much a commercial gun, take that as you will. And it feels like a Pioneer or even a one of the cheaper PSAs.
Yeah, that would be what I would compare it to. Pioneer, cheaper, PSA.
They do say it's a forged barrel, but it doesn't seem to be chrome lined, so better than not, but it's not a military barrel.
At least it's an import.
Yeah, but I don't know, commercial is kind of commercial to me.
Mm-hmm. Not a military import.
I don't know. We'll see how they do. I mean, WBP started off as commercial too, and look what they turned out. So it'd be interesting. It just seems a little odd that Century's importing the Wasser and that at the same time from not only the same country but same city. It's just kind of makes you wonder why. And they're so close in price.
Yeah, for the price point here, I don't know. I could understand this being $500-600. Sure.
I think so. Yeah, they are a little bit higher than I expected. I mean, I think now they're roughly 800. I don't know, but
yeah, at $800 you can buy the Paratrooper.
Right. I just don't see that. For another $50 you can get a Wasser. So, or if you really want to save money, get the Pioneer. But the Pioneer's had its own ups and downs. That's a story for another video.
It is.
Well, anything else you want to add about our girl there?
Very punchy, kicked hard. But like I said, I'm still sitting here based on how it thumped and how it sounded internally. I was really surprised to see that all of its organs were just intact and didn't look like my shoulder.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It definitely won that battle.
It did.
Part of it's that Century wood stock, and I'm using wood in quotes, but yeah. It is what it is, guys.
Not a whole lot to talk about on it.
No, I'm just kind of struggling to figure out the market this is meant to appeal to. Not to say that it's bad, I just don't know exactly.
AK folks are starting to really come around and get to know quality. This is,
Yeah.
It seems like there's a lot of new AK owners, and with the interweb and Reddits and stuff, you can get pretty educated pretty quick, and mostly
and there's
because
just
of
so
this
many
channel.
other guns like it out there for just
the
all
same
over
price point.
Spectrum. Yeah, same.
Hey, you can spend $200 more and have
cheaper,
a
less, more, whatever. But I'm not sure what they're targeting. I'm not sure. But then again, this is Century Arms. I'm rarely sure what they're thinking.
That's true.
But people asked. We had access to one, so there's our kind of initial review. Leave it down here. I'm not going to say we're going to rush out and run another few hundred rounds through it immediately, but as time permits, we will.
Yeah, I think it'll be fun to shoot. And just for the hell of it, we're going to put a really, really high dollar optic on here, and we're going to shoot groups with it one day. Why not?
Yeah, see if you can get 500 yards with it.
I'm going to, and I'm also going to put more Gorilla tape on it, because, man, that is just an added feature.
Maybe if you tape the optic on the rail, it'll hold zero.
I could do that, and I could actually go through the trigger guard here underneath, so it'd kind of be, that'd be a pretty cool custom job.
Be great when the charging handle comes back, but
I think I can dodge it. I can come back here far enough.
Yeah.
Let's just see what it does.
Zigzag it. I'm sure it'll be fine. It'll be fine.
JB Weld.
It's permanent optic. It's like the AUG from the 80s. The optic is permanent.
Nothing's
Deal
left.
with it.
Yeah. Deal with it.
Alrighty, guys, we've had a long day, so we're gonna pack it in here. But I hope everyone's enjoyed it. As always, if you could, please do like, share, and subscribe. And you know the drill. If you'd like to help support, check out the link to the Patreon. We'll be having another Q&A probably pretty soon.
Ask questions. Any question. That's what it's for. We want to hear things you guys want to know. Ask. Do it. It's fun. Blow the comment section up.
Yep.
I had to add that in there.
Why not?
Of course.
Alrighty, guys, this is Misha.
And this is Fox.
And clap off. See, it didn't work that time.
Well, let's try it again. Do it one more time.